y'all. Welcome to Unleash with DNA. I'm Amy.
And I'm Dawn, and we're so glad you're here.
Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Amy.
Long time no see in the studio.
Long time in studio. It's been a couple of weeks.
Well, I know you've been on vacation and I've been out of town and we've just been doing other things and we've been trying to nail down what our next series is going to be. And I think we were getting hung up on that. We started off that every series would be an acronym because it would help us sort of, align a topic and keep us on track. But this next one that we want to tackle is so big. Where we wanted to move into, we've started off with joy. Then we talked in our life series about things in life. And then we were going to move into work or job or, something along those lines. And a lot of people know that that's where we ultimately met, but we landed on a discussion or a topic, that's more appropriate to elaborate on, and that is career. However, we've decided that there's so much involved in a career and what all goes into it that we can't limit ourselves to just the acronym or the letters in career. So for this next series, we're going to open it up to just a topic on career, and every episode will be something about it, but not necessarily tied to the letter, and allow us a little bit more freedom and creative license to talk about everything and anything that goes into what we call a career.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are listening to this right now, I want to make sure that you understand, like, a career is way more than just work and education and jobs. I mean, it really is it's a pursuit for passion. It's a journey. It takes a long time to build a career, and it's got personal growth, professional growth. It's got mental and emotional impact. It's got an impact on your time and energy and all the things in your life. So when you hear career series, we're not here to kind of get you through a job or pick a career. We've been fortunate enough that we have worked together for 25 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're now probably getting to the point in our career that we understand what a career is. I don't know if we knew that all earlier years, that we were like building our career, or even how that was going to impact us. Like you said, family, friends, our personal life, our professional life. There's so much that goes into a career that I'm super excited to be able to kind of unpack all the things that career-wise that we want to talk about in this next series. And we also don't know how many episodes it's going to be.
No, because there's so many topics and one thing will lead to another. And I think we talked a little bit about being brave enough now to where we might invite a couple of guest hosts and some people that have impacted or had big impacts on our careers, and have them come on and collaborate with us and see what that's like. And then also open up to the audience for any suggestions or anything that if they listen to a particular episode in this series and they're like, I wish you would have gone a little deeper, or could you talk a little bit more about this, send us a message and we can pick it up from there and go off of suggestions and recommendations. I think just having the freedom to talk about everything that is or goes into a career, and whatever that looks so different for so many different people, sounds fun and limitless. And we'll just talk about it as long as we find it that it's relevant. And frankly, it could always be a pegged series in our library that even if 5 years from now we're still doing this and something comes up about it, we can always add it to it. So I just think it's like you said, it's when you start off in your career, you don't even know that's what you're building. And you kind of wish along the way you never know when you're going through what you're going through is what you're growing through, that contributes to your life's work in the end, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm excited about it. And I know we've talked about writing a book, like before podcasts were a thing. We talked about that we were going to write a book.
We might still
about
do that.
no, we are. I think we should. And we have some really fun chapter topics that we've been along the way, like, oh my God, that's so good. Like one of my favorites is tiptoeing through the tulips. That's yours. And I think, Dawn, we should start talking about those chapter, like using those, and eventually we could produce potentially a little takeaway book or something from our life's work towards a beautiful career. So
I agree. And I think the other thing is if you if you ever did listen to the Joy series and the Life series, I think you got a little bit from Amy and I, maybe on a personal, but I think through this series, we really haven't shared with everyone exactly what we do, where we work, and what our career really is. So stay tuned because you're going to find out more about what we actually do and our careers, and probably through this series. And we've been able to share some of our personal stuff, like in the Life and the Joy series. But I think being able to share some of our own work story as well, and our own career story is going to be really fun for us to share it with folks that are listening, because we haven't really done that yet.
no, and we've always said that we weren't going to get too specific into that. But there is a lot that our lives have um, been enriched by the experiences and the fortune that we've had for working for the company that we do, that we get to work for. And I think it's just the sharing of those experiences and how they impact your life is something that is worthy of a share. And just some of the honesty and transparency that it's not always easy, and that you don't have a crystal ball or a roadmap that's going to tell you exactly how it's going to go. And obviously there's going to be good days, bad days, ups and downs, um, celebrations and disappointments, like with anything else. But at the end of the day, when you look back in the rearview mirror, it all adds up to just what you put together and make sort of like your life or career scrapbook of all the
Oh
things that
yeah.
you've been through. So I think it's going to
And
be
I'm
fun.
super proud of our career, and I agree with you. You kind of just said it really good, but I mean that's where highs and lows come from for me. I mean, you're going to have highs and lows, and that's normal. And we'll be able to unpack that a little bit in this series, because there was times where you probably wonder if you're in the right place, and if you're making the right choices, and what should it feel like or look like, or what are you contributing? And some of that stuff just isn't revealed until later on in your career. And it's really, it, it's so exciting to look back in the rearview mirror. I would probably say I thought it was exciting when I was going forward and forward and forward in the career and just constantly changing, and I still am, but I think it's even just as fun to be nostalgic about all the things that we've been able to do in our careers. It's provided us so much of the joy that we talked about in our first series.
True. Yes. And I'm looking forward to brainstorming ideas of helping people that are in different milestones of their career navigate certain things. And I really hope that people take us up on the idea that we're open for suggestions and looking for feedback on topics and things that people really want to hear. And maybe it's a 10-minute series. Maybe it's a topic that's covered in 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes or whatever. We're just going to release ourselves of any time bound, you know, requirements about where this goes. And I think that'll allow us, it'll be easier for us to get in the studio and just be who we are and what we are naturally. And that's just whatever comes to mind and how it comes out versus how we're going to wrap up such a meaty topic in the CAREER letters. There's just no way to do that. So I'm excited for it. And I know we wanted to record this little bit today to kind of introduce what it's coming. And maybe we'll get some topics and suggestions right off the bat that we can start
Yeah,
noodling on and plan.
I want to just echo what you just said. I want everyone who listens to this to know we want to engage with you. So think of this series as a collaboration. We'll bring some guests in. We'll hopefully get some suggestions and comments. And then, of course, we're going to bring our authentic self in every episode.
Awesome. Well,
are you excited?
I am. I really am. I didn't want to start off with a work or a job or career series from the jump, because I think that's naturally what people that have known us long know us mostly in that environment. And so, but I'm glad that the first 2 episodes gave everybody a taste of who we are as individuals, how our personalities are and differently, and a little taste of the vibe of this podcast. And so hopefully it gives a little bit more deep understanding of when we go through this next series of how different we are, and continue to collaborate and share our life's story in this particular subject. So I'm looking forward to it. It's good to get back in the studio. We both had to figure out how to put our earphones back in, readjust our lighting and our cameras, because it's been a minute. But it's going to be fun. So we will post this introduction on our socials, and remember that you can follow us on Facebook at Unleash with DNA, the same name as our podcast, same with Instagram. We also have a LinkedIn page, and of course you can always find us on our YouTube channel. So send your topics, Spotify, Apple Podcast, but send your topics, send your suggestions. We'll be looking for them, and we look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Thank you, guys. Go back and watch Joy in Life if you haven't caught up, and we're excited to hang out with you on our career series. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in.
We know your time is so valuable. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel for easy access to all of our episodes.
Talk soon.